Continuing on from yesterday, let's now look at some spooky games for home consoles, this time for the Xbox 360. This game is by this smug douchebag and is a lame rip-off of Stephen King. In the game, Alan has writer's block and goes to the mountains with his wife to procrastinate and avoid doing his job. His wife gets kidnapped by something called the Dark Presence, and it becomes a metagame where Alan can't tell what's real and what's not. How original. My master thought the game was pretty lame, except for one section, and not very scary, but it was better than Alien Earth, which sucked massive balls. The game tells the story of FBI agent Ethan Thomas, investigating a connection between serial killings and assaults by vagrants. While hunting a killer called the Matchmaker, he is framed for murder. It's played in first person and tonally. It's similar to movies like Silence of the Lambs. There are two types of gameplay: investigation, in which you forensically examine crimes, and combat, which focuses on blocking. It's pretty scary if you are looking for a more grounded horror game. It's far more grounded than Alien Earth, which sucked massive balls. This is a game where you play a rip-off of George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. You are Frank West, a photographer who goes to a shopping mall surrounded by zombies. You rescue people, craft weapons and fight bosses. The bosses are great, but the time limits on the missions and progression are bullshit and take a lot of fun out of the game, according to my master. It also had a censored remake which my master thinks you shouldn't buy. This is the original version of the game. You play as Agent York, investigating the murder of a woman, which is similar to other murders across the country. It's famous for its characters, including how York talks to his friend Zach, and some of the dialogue in the game is genuinely hilarious. People complain about the shooting sections, but my master doesn't think they're that difficult or unfair, and he thinks the ghost designs and sound effects are actually king of creepy. There's a director's cut on the PS3 which has some story sections not on the Xbox version. It's also famous for its music. Is that stuck in your head now? Oh, that's too bad. It's also on the Switch, and the Switch port mostly ran pretty well, although it's based on the original Xbox version and doesn't have the PS3 content. There are plenty of ways to play this, and my master thinks everyone should. This is the first game in the series that was released in the West. You play as different types of soldiers fighting an invasion of giant insect aliens. It's fun in the way that 1950s monster movies are fun at Halloween. It's not particularly spooky, but it can get tense when you're surrounded by a whole bunch of insects. Worth playing, especially in couch co-op. This is a first-person survival horror game where survivors of a nuclear war have taken refuge in the metro tunnels of Moscow. You have to scrounge for supplies, explore dark areas, and make certain moral choices on occasion. Much of the horror comes from the bleak setting and story, along with the horrifying giant mutant monsters. Those too. If you're a fan of this type of story or of first-person shooters, you'll enjoy this. Well, that's all the games my master has for the Xbox 360. I'll be back soon with more of his spooky games for other consoles, including PS3, PS4, PS5, Wii and Wii U, and Nintendo Switch.
Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.